2023 has been crazy for me. Busy college life, my mental state is inconsistent as my analytics, but the one thing I didn't expect this year was Wonka to be one of my favourite films of 2023. It was definitely not on my bingo card. Now, I'm not a big fan of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I like the visuals of both the original and the remake, but that's about it. So when I heard about this film being in development, the most it elicited out of me was an exhale. But Twink Willy Wonka? Now that I wasn't expecting. When the trailer released, it was practically clowned online by every Twitter user imaginable, and I have no idea why. It looked visually pleasing, the acting looked good, and it was being directed by the director of Paddington, so it was definitely going to be a fun film. The main criticism I heard was about the casting of the titular Willy Wonka, Timothy Chalamet. People really didn't like this casting choice, and I seriously don't understand why. A lot of people didn't think he was manic or zany enough to play the role, but they made this judgment off of the trailer alone. Their judgment was mainly based off of this scene.
So quiet up and listen down. Nope, scratch that, reverse it.
People just seemed to find Timothy's acting and delivery in this trailer cringe, but as many have rightfully pointed out,
on a real note, it's the first trailer, wait a bit.
Like, people are so quick to judge media based solely off of the trailer, and I get it. You're valid to be concerned, but hating on a movie this hard that has not been released yet? That's ridiculous. Now, I had a pretty passing interest in this movie. I wasn't really excited for it, but I am an absolute sucker for films with whimsical atmospheres. And based off of the music and visual set design from the trailer alone, my interest was piqued. But I also completely forgot this film released, which kinda makes sense. There was practically no advertising for it because of the SAG-AFTRA strike, which is completely fair, pay your actors adequately. But I finally got to see it though when I was in Birmingham. And man, I absolutely loved this film. Upon rewatching it recently, I think I was a bit biased, but even then, I still adore this movie. It's such a whimsical treat. So let me explain why. The story is a prequel to the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It revolves around a much younger Willy Wonka who has arrived at the Gallery Gourmet to unveil his chocolate to the world, until he runs out of money, has his earnings confiscated, and accidentally ends up signing a contract that leads to him being forced to work in a laundrette named Scrubbits. After meeting 5 other prisoners and learning about a chocolate cartel, Wonka escapes with help from one of the prisoners, Noodle. She vows to help him in return for a lifetime supply of chocolate. They go to the zoo to get giraffe milk for his chocolate, and with the help of the other prisoners, they help Wonka Chocolate gain notoriety. This, of course, upsets the chocolate cartel, consisting of Slugworth, Prodnose, and Figelgruber. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. With the cartel using the chief of police to track down Wonka, and with a bit of sabotage, they create chaos for Wonka and the prisoners. They do this during Wonka's grand opening, where Wonka and the gang put on quite a show and sell a lot of chocolate. But alas, the cartel, with the help of Miss Scrubbit, put Yeti sweat in Wonka's chocolate, which turns everyone into a 2015 Let's Play YouTuber. With Wonka at his lowest, he accepts a deal with the cartel to leave town and stop making chocolate, and in return, the prisoners' debts would be paid off. He leaves on a boat until the Hugh Grant Oompa Loompa, yes, that exists, chats with him, which leads to Wonka realizing that Slugworth has the same family ring as Noodle. He then returns, saves Noodle with the help of the other prisoners, and it turns out Slugworth had lied about the deal. He freed every other prisoner, but paid to have Noodle kept prisoner. Now that the gang has reassembled, they break into the chocolate vault under the church, get the records that list all of the cartel's crimes and corruptions, and just as they're about to escape, the cartel catches them. This leads to the revelation that after Slugworth's brother died, he was given his niece, which is Noodle, to take care of by her mother. Slugworth wanted to be the only heir to his family fortune though, so he dropped Noodle down a laundry chute and told her mother that Noodle had died. The cartel then tries to kill Willy and Noodle in the chocolate vault until Hugh Grant saves the day and the villains are defeated by their own greed and by Noodle giving the police the corrupt records. The story ends with Noodle being reunited with her mother, and with Willy Wonka leaving with Hugh Grant Oompa Loompa to build his chocolate factory. Now I basically just summarised the movie for you, but let me delve into why this film's plot interests me and the one deviation from the original film that I think enhances the story. The deviation I'm talking about is that of Willy Wonka's parents. In previous Willy Wonka media, Willy has a strict father figure that disagrees with his dream, which leads to him running away to pursue his dream. In this iteration of Willy Wonka, it's quite the opposite. Willy grew up with a loving mother. They didn't have much, but every year for his birthday, they would have enough cocoa beans to make 1 bar of chocolate. This inspires the young Wonka to open a chocolate shop with his mother, to which she says it's a nice dream. He has doubts though that that's all it'll ever be. She tells him that everything starts out as a dream, so hold on to yours. I think this switch up in parental figures for Wonka was honestly a good decision. It makes Wonka's journey more of a struggle as he starts off with this hope and has to face people who want to tear him down and rain on his dream. This introduction of a motherly figure for Wonka brings me to a scene I didn't mention earlier, because I feel it deserves more attention and detail. In his childhood flashback, we learned that Mrs. Wonka has a secret to her chocolate that not even the gallery gourmet people know about. She tells Willy that she'll tell him when he's older, and that she'll be with him when he pursues his dream. Unfortunately for Willy Wonka, she dies, but he naively still holds out hope for the entire film that she will reappear when he reaches his dream. This brings us to one of the final scenes of the film. Willy is holding the last chocolate bar his mother ever made him. He's been saving it for the perfect moment. To him, this seems to be that perfect moment to open it. When he does, he finally receives the secret his mother's been waiting to tell him. The secret is, it's not the chocolate that matters. It's the people you share it with. Following this message is a touching moment where Willy sees his mother one final time, as she blows him one last kiss. She kept her promise to him. While she wasn't there, her spirit was there when he finally reached his dream, and revealed himself to the world. He takes her message on board, sharing her chocolate with his friends. It's such an emotional and beautiful scene, and while it sounds silly considering this is a movie where Timothy Chalamet plays Willy Wonka, it made me tear up. This film is whimsical, it's silly, but of course it's gonna be. It's based off of a children's book. But for me, it's these little scenes with real emotion. But even bigger than that, it's the themes of this film that make me love it so much. One of the biggest themes in this film is dreams. The idea of pursuing your dream, having to deal with the fact that others don't respect your dream and try to tear it down.
Are you serious?
Trying to fight against the odds to achieve that dream. Feeling like the dream that you've chased all your life has been futile and unobtainable. And finally, the hopeful feeling of finally reaching that dream. This film was made by and for creatives. As someone who doubts his craft more than any reasonable person should, my takeaway from this film was to keep creating, to keep striving to reach my dreams. I think that's why I love this film so much. I can relate to Willy Wonka's struggle as a creative. In terms of the cast, I don't really have much to say about them other than that they did an excellent job. Timothy Chalamet really sold his performance as Willy Wonka for me, and I don't think we could have gotten a better performance if I'm being honest. He's whimsical, silly, hopeful, and fun to watch. Like, what else could you possibly want? Hot take, but I think Timothy Chalamet is a great actor, and I think he gets too much hate for no reason. But the rest of the cast are great too. A highlight for me would have to be the Chief of Police, played by Keegan-Michael Kay, and Slugworth, played by Patterson Joseph. Keegan-Michael Kay is just well suited for these comedic relief type roles. He's funny, and his character in this film really sold me on the absurd world this movie takes place in. Patterson Joseph is the complete opposite tonally. He can be absurd, sure, but the seriousness of his character is pretty evident. This man threw a baby away in this film. He's a complete menace. Calla Lane also did a really good job in this film as Noodle. She fits the same role that Charlie played in the original very well. Rowan Atkinson was a treat to watch as always, one of the funniest parts of this film for sure. And even though Hugh Grant was only a part of this film for the paycheck, he gave a good performance. I'm not going to go through all of the side characters, but what I will say is that I enjoyed their performances. None of them were annoying or overstayed their welcome, but I really wish they got more screen time. They kind of just appear when Wonka needs help, and I feel like they could have been fleshed out more. One of the strongest aspects of this film is undoubtedly its visuals. Seriously, the set design in this film is crazy. From the cold, dreary look of the town, to the prison-like interior and exterior of Scrubbits, to the beauty of the Wonka store. Like, it's incredible how the visuals of this film can make you feel what the film is trying to portray. One of my favourite scenes where the visuals are just on full display has to be the opening of Wonka's store. The reveal of the candy interior, it's all very reminiscent of the original Candy Room. It's just so visually pleasing and, well, edible, I guess. In my opinion, the visuals of this film really encapsulate the beauty that the medium of film can have. The creativity, the wonder, the beauty of it all. If there was one aspect of this film I think everyone can enjoy, it's the visuals. The visuals are my second favourite aspect of this film, but by far my favourite part of this film is the music. I had no idea this was a musical when going in, and fun fact about me, I am in love with musicals. Obsessed with them. So like a moth to a flame, the second I stepped out of the cinema, I opened Spotify and immediately started playing this soundtrack on repeat. I love the music in this film. There's been a lot of people online memeing the lyrics of these songs and the weird rhyming in them, but I think it fits the film perfectly. Again, it's silly, so it makes sense. I'm not the internet's music nerd, so I can't tell you why these tracks are great, but I highly encourage you to listen to the soundtrack yourself. I really like the rendition of Pure Imagination they did for this film. It really captures the message of the original song. The theme of endless possibilities is really engraved into the song. My favourite song though, by far, is A World of Your Own. It just makes me feel like I can reach my goals and that I can achieve whatever I put my mind to. It really radiates the same energy as Pure Imagination for me. All the songs in this film are amazing though. You really should check them out. If I'm being honest though, don't stop there. Check the film out. It's out on digital now, so you really have no excuse. Wonka is a film that surprised everyone. Against everyone's premature bias, it is a well-crafted, stunning, fun, and captivating film. But that's all I've got to say about it. Thank you guys for watching, and if you don't mind, I've got the grand opening of my alcohol factory to attend, because like Willy Wonka, I also have a hat full of dream. Have yourselves a good one.